Bryan Pate here. Let's take a look at the face tile on your CAPTO unit. What I have down here is a string line straight to the hole in the distance, and then from behind the camera view I could set my putter right on top of the line, and I have a T sticking out the middle of the putter. So on the face tile, what happens is wherever we start this putter face, as we move the club back in the backstroke, that's going to be the 0 mark. So I could have my putter aiming out to the right, move it back, and return it somewhere. That's going to read that angle right there as 0 as the start point. Same if it was closed or square. So he's got to remember the face tile is where this putter starts at aim, and then it's going to be the difference that it changed throughout the stroke. So if I started with my putter pointing out to the right, and I made a stroke and it returned to square, it's going to say that face closed a certain amount. If I started with it closed and I opened it through the stroke, it's going to say that it opened through the stroke. If I started square, returned it to square, it's going to say the change was 0. I could also start with my face open or closed and return it to the same spot, and that's going to be the 0 mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a yardstick here, place it underneath the string, make sure it's lined up, and I'm going to remove this string just so we can hit some putts here and take a look at what's going on. So I'm going to move the string out of the way. Now I know the yardstick's aimed right at the hole. I'm going to put a ball in play and remove my tee that's on the putter face. So as we're ready to roll a putt, I'm going to try to start my blade pretty straight and then make a stroke. And we'll take a look at that one. So as we're looking at it, it's saying that it's plus 0.5 degrees open. So that means from setup to impact, the putter opened 0.5 degrees. If we take a look at the graph itself, we got to remember every putting stroke is going to have some amount of face rotation, because as we're moving the putter, it's going to move on a 3D arc. And you can see even up in front of me, this putter is starting to swing a little bit open to close. So we're not necessarily trying to keep the blade square to the target line and return it square to the target line. That's going to take a lot of manipulation unless you like that preference of putting stroke. And as you look at the graph, it's going to show the lines going upwards, so it's going positive, which means the face is opening in the backstroke from where it started. If we go to the inversion, it's saying from the 0 mark where we started, the putter opened 5.9 degrees. In the downstroke, you can see it's starting to go back down to the 0 line, so that putter's starting to close throughout the stroke. And then at impact, it's 0.5, so relatively square to where I started. Let's hit a couple other putts here. So on this one, I'm going to aim the putter out to the right a good amount, and then try to return this square so it can start down the yardstick. So on that one, from down that line view, you can see that that ball rolled off to the right. And as we look at it, it's going to say the address was 0. So wherever that was aimed at, that's our 0 mark. Keep remembering that. And as we're looking at the graph, in the backstroke, the face opened 3 degrees. And then you're going to see there's a sharp decline on the downstroke because I was trying to close that into impact. Now it's going to say at impact, I was minus 2.1 degrees. So minus means the putter was closing throughout the stroke. And as I returned it to impact, it was 2.1 degrees more closed than it started at setup. Now I know it started off the right side, so I didn't have enough closing in that stroke. Let's do the opposite here. I'm I'm going to start with the putter aiming well to the left. On the way through, I'm going to try to block it and hold it open so the putter face can return to square for the yardstick. So that one started pretty good down the yardstick there. And as we look at that graph, at address 0, wherever we start that putter at, as we look at the backstroke, to the backstroke, the putter opened at the inversion was 9.4. The most it opened was 12.1 degrees in the backstroke, trying to get that putter back open. So as I came through, it's going to start the golf ball on line. At impact, that was 8.4 degrees open, so it's positive 8.4, which means I went from a closed position, opened it up 8.4 degrees. That ball started on line, so based to my start line, the putter was 0 at impact, but based on where I started the aim, it opened 8.4 degrees. So when you're using the face tile, we got to know where we're aiming at. So if we have a chalk line or something that we can figure out where the golf ball is starting, that impact number will know what that is relative to our start line, and then we can backtrack to figure out where the putter is starting at aim. So use this face tile and just know this in the back of your mind that it's based off of where this is aimed at setup and the difference in the change as it returns back to impact.